everybody, it's Amaya. This video is going to be one that I actually got inspiration from Jaclyn Hill from. She did a tutorial on how to get dewy, luminous skin in the winter and fall months, and I was like, you know what? I want to do a video like that, but using more drugstore products and do a little bit differently than she did it. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing the best way for girls like me that have normal to dry skin to have nice, dewy, luminous skin throughout the fall and winter. I have already done my eye makeup and I've filled in my eyebrows, but that is it. I do not have any other makeup on, so yeah. I'm going to get started. I'm going to be showing you how I do my foundation and my concealer and my blush, bronzer, highlight, powder, all sorts of that stuff to achieve the most luminosity on our skin. Just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing you want to start out with is make sure your face is clean and moisturized. As always, that goes for any makeup tutorial / putting on makeup. That goes for anything. Make sure you're clean and moisturized. Next, you want to start by priming, and when you want dewy, luminous skin, the best thing to do is use a dewy or luminous primer. If you have oily skin, you can use a slightly mattifying primer first, and then a dewier primer either mixed in or lightly over it. So what I like to do is mix primers. That's probably my favorite thing. I'll put something in my T-zone, something on the rest of my face, mix things together, all that sorts of stuff. The best one that I like is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi primer. That is my all-time favorite primer for dewy and luminous skin, but however, I am out of that right now. So my second choice would have to be my Maybelline Master Prime by Face Studio Primer. This is the Blur and Illuminate one. This does give a really nice dewy finish to the skin, just not as intense and beautiful as the Lumi. This is what I am going to be using today, and I am also going to be using a little bit of the Benefit Professional to kind of smooth out my pores. And the reason why I'm going to be doing that is because when you are doing a dewy and a luminous look, especially with highlighters and stuff like that, highlighters can tend to accentuate your pores and all that sorts of stuff, and that is just not cute. So you want to use some sort of pore filling primer if you have larger pores. I don't, but I feel like it can accentuate my pores in some areas. I just feel more comfortable using something like the Professional, which is going to definitely fill in any of your pores, and so you have a very flawless look. I'm going to start out with this one. I'm going to apply this in my T-zone and just a little bit on my cheeks. So I'm just going to massage this into my chin and between my eyebrows. Just going to put it a little bit under my eyes on the sides of my cheeks where I can be kind of porous. Okay, now I'm going to be applying the Maybelline primer all over my face. I'm going to be applying this mostly on my cheeks and around my forehead, but I'm still going to be applying it where I applied the other primer, just mostly in the areas where I did not. So next we're going to move on to foundation, and my favorite dewy foundation ever is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. I know a lot of people like the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I do not like that, as I mentioned in my products I regret buying video and in my worst and best products of 2015 video, but I love this one, and I'm going to be mixing it with the e.l.f. Foundation Serum. And this stuff is like so sheer. It's barely there, but I love using it to build up coverage. And I also love mixing it in with this foundation because it makes this one a little bit more yellow, and it also adds a really nice dewy luminosity. So mixing your foundations is always a great way to go when you want really healthy looking skin. I'm also going to be mixing in some of my Equate All Day Moisturizing Lotion. This is for normal skin. This is just my regular everyday moisturizer. And I'm also going to be mixing in a liquid illuminator, and I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip in the Spotlight. Mixing in liquid illuminators, or even the illuminating primer from Maybelline that I used, is a great way to have dewy, luminous skin. You can mix in primers, you can mix in illuminators, anything you can mix in with your foundation, because that is really going to alter how it looks. If you mix in a liquid illuminator, which is what I'm going to be doing, you're going to have really dewy, luminous skin, and that's better for you guys who are more dry to normal, because it is going to make you look very dewy. If you don't want as much dewiness, then you want to apply a dewy primer to your face, because that's not going to show up as much in the foundation. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of the Fit Me, and then 2 pumps of the foundation serum. I'm going to be adding a tiny bit of my moisturizer. You always want to add more foundation than you do moisturizer or liquid illuminator, because otherwise you're just going to be looking like a disco ball. Well, that's all fine and well. It's not always the best. And then just a little bit of the illuminator. And once I kind of have that spread around, I'm going to be blending that in using my Real Techniques beauty sponge. I find that using a beauty sponge gives me a really just pretty glow to my skin. When I use a brush, I feel like it looks kind of cakey, but if you are someone who wants to use a brush, then by all means go for it. I just like using this better because I feel like it really hydrates my skin and gives me a really nice glow. Apply some down my neck just to have even coverage, and we is done. Okay dokie, so now we're going to move on to concealer, and my favorite concealers of all time are the Maybelline Master Conceal and the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. I'm not a huge fan of the Maybelline Fit Me because I do feel like it dries a little bit weird on my skin and can look kind of heavy. That's just me. A lot of people say it looks very dewy and luminous, which I'm like, I don't see it, but okay, you have your opinion. So I think these are really nice. This one is very full coverage, and this one is also kind of full coverage, but it's also a little bit thinner than this. So the two of these together just look beautiful. With concealer, I feel like you don't really want necessarily dewiness because it can make you look kind of sweaty under your eyes. You want something that's going to be more brightening. So I'm just taking a little bit of the Master Conceal first and applying this on the back of my hand. So it may seem like I'm kind of packing this stuff on, but I had a little bit of extra in my hand, and this stuff really does brighten, and though spraying this out really thinly, it just looks like a lot. Then I'm just going to apply some of the HD Lifting Concealer very lightly just to kind of thin this stuff out. So I'm also just going to blend this in using my sponge. You could use a brush, but I just feel like, again, the sponge just gives you a more hydrated, dewy look. But again, it's all up to you. You could also use your fingers to blend in your concealer if you don't have a sponge. Same. I'm going to set my under eyes. These are from the NYX Highlight and Contour Kit. I think they have names like Soft Light and something else, but it's basically the banana shade and the white shade. You can buy these individually. I got them in the kit. But these are what I'm going to be using to set my under eyes, and the reason why I'm using this is because this is a highlighting powder. Anything that's like a yellowy color or yellowy tint is really going to brighten wherever you're putting it. Make sure we're not going to have any creasing. And then I'm going to go in and set my under eyes using my e.l.f. small tapered brush. And when I'm setting my under eyes, I'm really going to keep it up here because you do not want to bring it down where you put your entire concealer, because that is going to reduce some of the dewy luminousness of your skin. And I'm going to kind of very lightly set the other areas of my face with this powder. Because I didn't set my whole face yet, I'm going to be applying a cream highlight. Now this is just going to act as a base for our other highlights. I'm going to be using a Benefit What's Up. This is a Widow Tiny Shampoo. Oh, isn't it so cute? You could also totally use the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whips. They're amazing. Any sort of liquid illuminator is going to look fabulous. So I'm just going to apply this. What I'm going to do is put this on my finger, kind of get it around in there and kind of warm it up on my finger. And I'm just going to apply it to my cheekbones. Using a liquid highlighter is also going to make your highlights last longer because it's going to give it a base to stick to. Now for setting the entire face, you want to use any sort of luminous powder. The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, the natural one, I hear is amazing, but I do not own that because it's expensive. So I'm using this powder from e.l.f. This is the just e.l.f. pressed powder. I really like this a lot. I don't feel like it makes me look powdery or too matte. When I use the Rimmel Stay Matte, I feel like that one makes me look more matte. So I'm just going to be taking this on my Real Techniques face brush, I think it's like that, and just very lightly pressing this onto the lower cheek areas where I'm going to be applying bronzer and to the sides of the forehead. And I'm going to really blend it away. So now on to bronzer and blush and highlight, because let's be honest, that's kind of the most important thing. So for bronzer, I am going to be using these, and these are the highlight and contour singles from the Highlight and Contour Kit. And I'm just going to be taking this one right here, which is more of a grayish tone, and mixing it with this one, which is a little bit more of an orange. This is just going to give me a really nice bronze look. Use whatever you want to use. If you have a Dewy or Luminous bronzer, then use that one. That'll look great. But these don't look too matte on me, so, you know. This is an e.l.f. complexion brush. I'm just going to apply this on the outer perimeter of my face like I would normally. The best thing that I can say to use as a blush to get a nice dewy and luminous look is a highlighter, because obviously that's going to make you look highlighted. So there's a lot of pink toned rosé highlighters out there, and I feel like those are just amazing to use as blush. You could also use a regular blush and then apply a pink highlighter over it. That looks amazing if you're more of a blush person, you want a little bit more pigment. But I'm going to be using the Cindy Luminizer that I've been holding up, and this is just a really pretty pink toned highlighter. Applying this using an e.l.f. stipple brush. So now the fun part, highlighting. I have 12 bajillion highlighters, but my favorites are the ones that I pulled out right now. I have Becca's Champagne Pop. This is just beautiful for those of you that have medium skin and a tiny bit darker. If you guys are really fair, this may look a little bit gold on you. So for you fairer lovelies, I would recommend using something like the Mary Luminizer, because it is just a really pretty vanilla-y color. I don't know what I was really trying to say there, but this is just a really nice lighter shade. And then I feel like these two shades that I'm going to talk about right here are super duper universal to pretty much every skin color. These are the Dupe That highlighters from Ofra Cosmetics. If you don't know what Dupe That is, it is an Instagram account run by some lovely ladies, and they created these two highlighters. They are called You Glow Girl and You Do You. And this one is more of a purple, whitish highlighter. It looks very purple, but when you apply it, it makes your cheeks look wet. It's so beautiful. The other one is You Do You, and this one is more of a champagne peach gold. It is very similar to Champagne Pop. I'm going to hold them up side by side. This is Champagne Pop and this is You Do You. As you can see, they are very similar. So again, this one is for more medium skin tones, and this one would be better for fair, although medium can use this as well. So the ones I'm going to be using today are the Dupe That highlighters, because I've just fallen in love with these lately and they're just so beautiful. So to highlight, I'm going to be using my Morphe M501. You could use a fan brush, you could use the e.l.f. small tapered brush. Any brush kind of works. I just like how this one applies. I'm going to be mixing these two together. When I am applying my highlight, I'm going to apply that right on top of my cheekbone, and I apply it up towards my eyebrow. I'm going to apply this to a little bit, tiny bit to my chin, a little bit to my cupid's bow, to my nose, to the bridge of my nose, and a little bit over my eyebrows. Everything I'm doing, you can totally adjust to your own skin type and skin tone, all that sorts of good stuff. It all just depends on how you want to look and what you are kind of going for. If we want to go really intense on my highlight, and I am going to do this just to show you guys, you can wet your highlighting brush. So I'm just using my NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. I'm taking a little bit of You Glow Girl, and ever so slightly topping this off. What? Just, can you look at that highlight? I mean, come on. Like, are you kidding me right now? Last but not least, we do not want to forget the inner corners of our eyes. So I'm just going to be taking either of these highlighters. You can use eyeshadow, whichever you want. I'm just going to put my finger into, oh, You Glow Girl. I'm going to press this into the inner corners of my eye. Okay, so now the most important part. I just wanted to put on a little bit of mascara just to finish up my makeup look. And I'm going to be taking the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray and setting my makeup. This is going to take away any powderiness that you have on your look and all that sorts of stuff. So yeah, just douse yourself with some setting spray. And that is it, you guys. I hope you guys liked this tutorial on how I get my dewy luminous skin. If this worked for you guys and you tried it out, or you're wanting to try it out, or if you have any suggestions for me, please put them down in the comments below. And yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
Maya. So today's video is going to be something I always say that. Something I've never done before. No. Because it's not fall. But, that's awkward. Okay. And we're going to be putting highlighter on, and a lot of times highlighter can... Hi, you! Can you check to see if my thing's focused? Because Anna can focus that you can, people mostly hook up their...
Hold it up, but you got that.
You only see me from here up, so I'm going to be dressed from here up. This is what I'm talking about, like primers. You interrupted me. Did my eyebrows better today?
Yeah, they're good.
Thank you.
They were good yesterday.
Well, I mean, like, on first night I filled them in. You're like, they're a little thick, so I didn't fill them in as thickly this time.
Yeah, they look good.
Good.
Yeah.
And now, yo, to get a dewy and luminous way. Dewy luminous way? What? Going on, I'm going to take these and apply this to my nose, to the bridge of it. What? Oh, and if this torturo...